This efficient form of road transport has been left in the shade in Western Australia, where in a marriage of convenience between operators and the state government legislators, legal loads of upwards of 145,000 litres are being carried with gross weights of more than 170 tonnes. One company operating at the forefront of this technology is Mitchell Fuel. Mitchell Fuel is headquartered in the quiet coastal town of Geraldton, about 400 kilometres north of the state's capital, Perth. Mark Cale helps organise the complex web of fuel deliveries.
We run from right down to Perth up to Port Ellen. We're just about to take over Port Ellen depot up there now. We run right out to up to Mount Magnet, out to Wiluna, Eagle Mining out there, up to Newman, up to Plutonic, all up there, yeah, right up to all out Port Ellen, down to Exmouth, Carnarvon.
The transport web of Mitchell Fuels stretches over most of remote Western Australia. The company supplies fuel and lubricants to towns, communities, wheat farms, sheep and cattle stations throughout the state. This 4-trailer unit, pulled by a tri-drive Kenworth T950 prime mover, is loading diesel for a trip to gold mines in the remote Western Australian desert. Its configuration, along with a concessional loading permit from the Western Australian government, allows the high load capacity that makes efficient delivery of energy to remote centres possible. The truck spreads the enormous weight evenly to the road surface through a series of triple-axle groupings throughout the truck.
Kenworth's single steer, but they have got tri-drive, which means we can actually pull a lot more weight with the tri-drive than a bogie drive truck. We've got all tri-dollies and tri-axles all through the whole outfit.
In effect, the outfit consists of a conventional 40,000 litre barrel as lead trailer, a B-double on a triple-axle dolly hooked on behind the lead, and a conventional 40,000 litre trailer bringing up the rear, also on a tri-axle dolly.
It's a triple with an A-trailer put in the middle, added onto it. So yeah, quite a long outfit. Good for steering and going around corners, and actual turning circles are good.
It's a bigger outfit than the double B-doubles being used elsewhere.
Overall length, it's probably about the same, 53.5 metres, but they actually carry a lot more fuel.
The road train is loaded. It's time to head out, and we're going on a 1,400 kilometre round trip to the gold mines at the remote centre of Wiluna. Driver Garth Riley heads the great beast out and going is slow in the pulls as we leave the low coastal centre of Geraldton.
We're going to Wiluna from Geraldton up through Mickathara and out to the Gumbrell Highway out there to a place called Wiluna Gold Mines, and we're doing deliveries around there in the area.
Wheat trucks scurry back and forth, hauling the state's golden harvest to ships at Geraldton. The Kenworth is comfortable and quiet inside the cab as the powerful Cummins N14 meets the needs of the massive load.
We're sitting on roughly 85 kilometres, which is fairly good for the weight that we are, up to close to 170 tonne. And it seems to be doing it easy. It's not lugging or anything. Motor's running along at 1700 revs, so it's doing it quite easy. It's good.
We come to the small wheat town of Mullewa. Garth has to drop off a drum of lubricant to the Mitchell fuel depot. The wheat trucks rumble into the Mullewa silos to load. A Mac-powered double B-double purrs past. An impressive outfit, but it can't handle the load the Mitchell truck does. Back on the road, the Kenworth heads out beyond the farming country now. What's the tri-drive like to drive?
I think with the tri-drive, it gives it a more smoother ride, but it's all airbag suspension, parabolic springs on the front, but very smooth.
But there is one habit the driver needs to watch with tri-drive and super single tyres on the steer.
When you come into a corner and you leap, as you come around a corner you can't put the boot into it because the front axle is, the power divider's locked in. It'll, even if you turn the steering wheel, it'll still steer you straight across, straight ahead. You just got to back off a little bit as you're going around a corner, that's all. But apart from that, it's much the same. Just got to be a bit more on your guard when especially in the wet or on the mud or anything like that. You can't just power around corners because you'll end up bloody going straight ahead.
And what's the four-trailer road train like to handle?
Trailers are all airbag suspension, all with lift axles, all tries, chill tyres. Tracks very well, even better than a normal triple road train. It seems to follow itself better.
Why is that?
I think it's more turning points, pivot points, articulations. It seems to follow itself better. You drop off the bitumen and you come back on a bit too hard. She seems to follow you back on. She doesn't whip around like a third trailer. Third trailer on a triple, she'll whip herself around a bit. But this setup seems to be really very smooth.
Just near the township of Mount Magnet, the Geraldton Road meets the Great Northern Highway. Here, the Mitchell Fuel road train turns northward. This afternoon readies to turn to night. Mount Magnet is a mining town and has ridden the booms and depressions of mining fortunes deep in Australia's outback. With the sun set, Garth Riley concentrates on getting to his destination before the sun rises once more.
We're going to mining operations and drillers, mainly diesel is used for the mining operations. I went to Walloona for gold mining. In the drillers, there's two drilling mobs I've got to deliver to. We've got two small deliveries there for their drilling rigs and their machines. But the majority of it's going to for the earth-moving machines around the area.
And after a night on the road and a regulatory sleep time, we find ourselves at Walloona Gold. Still before daylight, the miners come up from the underground and hose down their vehicle ready for the next shift. And on first light, Garth is checking his tankers and unloads, pumping diesel into the storage tanks. This procedure is carried out again and again as the morning becomes noon. The mining roads are not always designed for road trains the length of this one, but the skill of the driver sees the trucks snaking through seemingly impossible corners. Mining companies, drilling companies, and even a company that uses the diesel to make the explosive for the mines. Compartment by compartment, tank by tank, the fuel comes off. A quick check of the N14 after the grueling pull up from the coast. So why did Mitchell Fuel go with Cummins?
We decided to go with Cummins. They're a good motor, we haven't had any problems with them at all. We got an International, we got a Western style, and we just wanted to keep them all the same motor.
The N14 is an electronically managed engine. Just how are the electronics standing up to life in the outback?
Good, we haven't had any problems with electronics so far. We haven't had anyone stuck out in the bush with electronic problems.
With all tankers empty, it's time to head back towards Geraldton. How does Mitchell Fuel run driver shifts to maintain utilisation of the high capital investment in these trucks?
It's about a 1,400k round trip. Offload in 4 different places and then lift all the axles up and come home as quick as we can. Next bloke jumps in and he does the same thing. They keep the trucks working pretty well, non-stop, 7 days a week. As soon as the driver gets in, another driver, a fresh driver, he'll hop in and he'll go up the road.
We drive into the second night. Around midnight, we get back to the depot. Garth refuels and washes the prime mover before heading off to his family at home.
Every trip kept clean. A new driver will jump in. and he'll take the truck up the road, and they just keep it working like that. So the trucks never really cool down. They're pretty well going all the time.
Going all the time to keep the energy up to the ever-hungry export industries of Western Australia.